Of magnetic materials. In the last lecture I told you that based upon their magnetic properties, based upon their extent of magnetization, and based upon whether they are attracted or repelled, the materials they can be characterized into either diamagnetic, paramagnetic, ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic materials. Okay, then we started with the diamagnetic materials. I told you diamagnetic materials are weakly magnetized when they are kept inside the strong magnetic field, and they're magnetized in a direction opposite to the direction of the applied magnetic field, right? Then I give you certain examples like inert gases, helium, argon, metals, copper, zinc, bismuth, etc. So they are all diamagnetic in nature, right? Then we talked about the origin of diamagnetism. The origin of diamagnetism is orbital motion of the electron, right? Because the electron revolves around the nucleus as per the Bohr theory of electron, and a revolving charge, when charge revolves in a circle, it behaves like a current loop, and hence magnetic field is generated in a direction perpendicular to the direction of the orbit. Okay, then because there are n number of such orbitals inside the atom, so the total magnetic moment of the atom will be m is equal to m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus so on, the magnetic moment produced by each orbital. Okay, in the absence of any external field, if there is no field applied, if the value of B is equal to 0, then this magnetic moment, this net magnetic moment of the atom will be 0, because all the orbitals will be directed in random directions, and hence the magnetic moment generated by one orbit will cancel out the magnetic moment generated by the other orbit. Okay, so therefore in absence of any magnetic field, the total magnetic moment of the atom will be 0, right? However, when the magnetic field is applied, then all these orbitals, they will align in a direction opposite to the direction of the applied magnetic field, and hence the magnetic moment will be generated. Then we talked about the properties, the characteristics of diamagnetic materials. They have the magnetic moment opposite to the direction of the applied field. Then if any diamagnetic material is kept inside a non-uniform magnetic field, then it will move from stronger part to the weaker part of the magnetic field. Diamagnetic materials, they have negative susceptibility. The susceptibility is independent of temperature. These are the characteristics of the diamagnetic material. We started with the Langevin theory of diamagnetism. Okay, then we started with this Langevin theory, which is classical theory of diamagnetism based upon the Bohr's model of an atom. Okay, so in this theory, I told you that since the electrons are revolving around the nucleus, so it will behave like a current loop, and hence the magnetic moment will be magnetic field will be generated in a direction opposite to the magnetic moment will be generated in a direction opposite to the direction of the applied field. So we were talking about this theory, and I told you that the electron, we consider an electron which is revolving around the nucleus, having the radius of the orbit is r, and then the electron is revolving around the nucleus with velocity this v naught, with this angular velocity v naught. Okay, and omega naught is the angular frequency of the electron, right? So in the absence of any magnetic field, this electron is revolving around the nucleus under the impact of the centripetal force, which is given by Fe is equal to mv square upon r, mv naught square upon r. Okay, which is equal to m omega naught square r. Omega naught is the angular frequency of the electron. Okay, so in the absence of B, in the absence of any magnetic field, the value of m will be equal to 0. Okay, so when the magnetic field is applied, when B is applied, then the Lorentz force will act on the electron, which is given by EVB. Since V and B are perpendicular to each other, so this cross will become sine 90. So 90 is 1. So this is EVB. Okay. So due to this magnetic field, induced EMF will be generated, which is equal to minus d phi upon dt. Phi is the magnetic flux, right? So therefore, this induced EMF closed circle E dl is equal to minus d phi upon dt, and because this is we are talking about a circle, so circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, so E 2 pi r is equal to minus d phi upon dt, so therefore E is equal to minus 1 upon 2 pi r d phi upon dt. Okay, so then we also know that from Newton's law m dv upon dt is equal to EE. So it means that by putting the values, you calculated the values of value of dv, the change in the velocity. So you calculated the value of change in the velocity, which is equal to minus E upon 2 pi mr d phi, right? So because the velocity is changing, it means that there definitely there will be a change in the angular frequency of the electron. So that change in the angular frequency of the electron is given by, yeah, dv is equal to minus E upon 2 pi mr into d phi, and I also told you that this d phi, it varies from 0 to pi r square, because pi r square is the total area and b is the applied magnetic field, so it will vary from 0 to pi r square b, right? So maximum value of d phi will be pi r square b, so dv will be equal to minus E upon 2 pi mr into pi r square b, right? So by simplifying, this will become dv is equal to minus E r b upon 2m, right? So this is the net change in the velocity of the orbiting electron, right? Now due to this change in the velocity, there will be change in the angular frequency of the electron, and that change in the angular frequency is given by d omega is equal to dv upon r, right? So by putting the value of dv over here in this equation, you will get d omega is equal to minus eb upon 2m. Okay, so this is the change in the angular frequency, and this change in the angular frequency is called Larmor frequency. This is called Larmor frequency, very important. Now, since we know that magnetic moment is directly linked to current, magnetic moment is given by mu is equal to what? I into A, current into area, right? And since this current is directly linked to the angular frequency of the electron, okay, so it means that if the angular frequency is changing, then the current will also change, and if the current is changing, that means that the magnetic moment is changing. So therefore there will be change in the magnetic moment of the diamagnetic material under the impact of the magnetic field. Okay, so see how this I changes due to change in the angular frequency, how the current changes due to change in the angular frequency. See, we know that I is equal to charge per unit time, electron E upon T. So this is equal to what? Because T, we know that T is the time period, and time period is defined as 2 pi upon omega naught being the angular frequency of the electron in the absence of applied field. Okay, so I is equal to E upon T, which is equal to omega naught upon 2 pi into E. Okay, so it means that magnetic moment mu is equal to omega naught E upon 2 pi into A, into A. What is A? A is the area of the orbit, and what is the area of the orbit? Yes, what should be the area? Yes, the area of the orbit would be pi r square. So on simplifying, this will become E r square omega naught divided by 2. Okay, so this is the magnetic moment. This is the magnetic moment possessed by the orbit. This is the magnetic moment possessed by the orbit if there is no field, right? अगर field apply करोगे तो ये ओमेगा हो जाएगा, तो ये कितना हो जाएगा? Under the impact of the magnetic field, when V is applied, when V is applied, this is E r square omega upon 2. ठीक है, ये जो है वो सिंगल ऑर्बिट का मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट है, बट बिकॉज देर आर n नंबर ऑफ सच मोमेंट, तो अगर मैग्नेटिक फील्ड नहीं होगा तो एक का जो मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट है वो दूसरे को कैंसिल आउट कर देगा. देयरफॉर इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ any magnetic field, this mu will be equal to how much? 0 in absence of B. But when B is applied, then this is the value. Then this is the value of the magnetic moment. Okay. Now we are more concerned about the change in the magnetic field, about the change in the magnetic moment. Sorry. We are more concerned about the change in the magnetic moment when the magnetic field B is applied. Okay. So if the angular frequency changes by delta omega, right, then change in, see, this is the value when the frequency is omega. But if the frequency is changing from omega to omega naught, if the angular frequency is changing from omega to omega naught, then delta mu will also change. Okay, so that change in magnetic moment is given by delta mu is equal to E r square delta omega divided by 2. Okay, so this is the change in the negative sign is also there, sorry. Okay, so this is the change in the magnetic moment, right? Negative sign only defines the direction. This means that negative sign means that induced magnetic moment delta mu is always opposite to the direction of the applied magnetic field. Okay, so this means that delta mu is opposite to applied field B. Negative sign indicates that delta mu is opposite to the applied magnetic field B. Okay. Now, one more thing we need to consider over here. See, this is the change in the magnetic moment. Delta mu is equal to minus E square R square delta omega upon 2. Now we can substitute the value of delta omega over here. See, the value of delta omega was this d omega or delta omega 1. This is one and the same thing because this also denotes the change in the angular frequency. So इसको आप delta omega से भी लिख सकते हो, confuse नहीं होना है इसमें. Okay. So delta omega is equal to minus EB upon 2m. So we can substitute this value minus EB upon minus EB. So this will become minus E square R square by 2 sorry, this प्लस लिखा, हमने इसको ओमेगा को सब्स्टिट्यूट किया तो ये माइनस बन गया. सो दिस विल बी प्लस. ओके, एंड देन ये वाला स्टेटमेंट आप लास्ट में लिखोगे व्हेन यू कंपेयर दिस डेल्टा म्यू विद बी. ओके, सो दिस इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड ओवर हियर. हम माइनस ई स्क्वायर आर स्क्वायर अपॉन
मैम ई स्क्वायर नहीं है, ई है ओनली.
ई है सॉरी. सो दिस विल बिकम डेल्टा ओमेगा की जब आप वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट करोगे दिस विल बी माइनस ई बी अपॉन 2m. ओके, इसको हाँ यहाँ पे भी ई है ना, राइट. बिकम यहाँ पे प्लस था, ये भी प्लस था. सो व्हेन यू सब्स्टिट्यूटेड माइनस ओवर हियर देन इट विल बिकम माइनस एंड देन माइनस ई स्क्वायर आर स्क्वायर बी डिवाइडेड बाय 4m. ओके, so this is your net change in the magnetic moment. Delta mu is equal to minus E square R square B upon 4m. Right? Now you can use the statement over here that delta mu is opposite to B. Delta mu means the change in the magnetic moment is always opposite to the direction of B. Delta mu is opposite to B. Okay, so this is one thing. Now see, you have to see that there we are talking about a entire material. We are talking about the bulk of the diamagnetic materials, right? And when we talk about a single atom, there are n number of orbitals in this atom, and they are having different orientations. Okay, so see, let's say they are the orbitals of the atom, right? So if there are n number of orbitals inside the atom, then since the symmetry of the atom is supposed to be spherical, okay, we are talking about a spherical three-dimensional symmetry of the atom, right? So in that case, the average radius of an orbital is given by, or the radius of the orbital is given by r is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, right? This is in general. In general, when we talk about the symmetry of the atom, it is supposed to be spherical in nature, and the orbitals are lying in different directions. So the average radius of an orbital is given by x square plus y square plus z square in 3 dimension, right? Suppose we are talking about this point, okay, this is r. So when you extrapolate, this will become like this. Okay, so this is the r square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, where x is the component in x direction, y is the component in y direction, z is the component in z direction. But when we talk about spherical symmetry, in spherical symmetry, x square is equal to y square is equal to z square, right? Because x will be equal to y will be equal to z in the spherical symmetry. Okay, so it means that if you substitute here x is equal to y is equal to z, then it means that x square is equal to y square is equal to z square, and which is equal to r square by 3. This is equal to r square by 3, right? Now what will happen when magnetic field is applied? Then in this particular case, we are assuming that, let's say the field is along z direction, the magnetic field is along z direction, and the orbitals are lying in the x and y direction. The orbitals are lying in the x and y direction, because the field will always be perpendicular to the orbit, plane of the orbit, right? So we are saying that the orbitals are lying in the x and y direction, whereas in the z direction there is no orbital at all. Okay, so in that situation, if r is the average radius in x and y plane if r is the average radius of the orbitals lying in the x and y plane, then r square must be equal to x square plus y square. Okay, प्लेन की बात कर रहे हैं. Okay, so this is equal to what? 2 r square by 3, क्योंकि x square भी r square by 3 है, y square भी r square by 3 है. When you will substitute it over here, so it will become r square is equal to 2 r square by 3. Okay, so this is the radius. So it means that r square is equal to
previous slide दिखाना एक बार.
हाँ जी. This is the previous slide.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. 2 r square by 3. R square is the radius of the orbital. So hence total magnetic moment, therefore the total magnetic moment mu is given by E square B upon 4m into, see, there are since there are many such orbitals, okay, since there are many such orbitals inside the atom, or inside the n number of atoms in a per unit volume if you are talking about, so this will become, we have to take the summation of all such radius. Okay, so this will become sigma r square, which is equal to E square B upon 4m 2 r square by 3, right? R square is equal to 2 r square by 3. We are taking the average one. Okay, so mu is equal to mu and minus sign was also there. So this is mu is equal to minus E square r square B divided by 6m. 6m. Okay, so this is the total magnetic moment of the atom, right? And let's say if Z is the atomic number, if Z is the atomic number of this atom, then total magnetic moment of this atom will become what? Z multiplied by E square R square B upon 6m, because there will be Z number of such orbitals in the electronic orbitals in the atom. Okay, so mu is equal to minus Z E square R square B by 6m is the net magnetic moment of the atom. Okay, now let us consider a situation. Let's say if the substance contains n number of electrons, if the substance contains n number of electrons per unit volume, if there are n number of electrons in this unit volume, then the total magnetic moment of this unit volume of the diamagnetic material is given by m is equal to what? N multiplied by mu. Okay, because mu is the magnetic moment for single this atom, so this will become m is equal to n into mu. Okay, so this is equal to m is equal to minus z e square b r square n divided by 6n. Okay, so this is the net magnetization. This is the net magnetization of the material. M is equal to, one thing more, here we are using B, but अगर आपको B की जगह H यूज करना है, then we know that B is equal to mu naught H. ठीक है, so you can say that M is equal to minus Z mu naught N E square H divided by 6m into R square is also there. Okay, so this is the net magnetization of the material, right? We also know that diamagnetic susceptibility is given by what? M upon H. Okay, so क्या होगी susceptibility की वैल्यू? अगर आप इसको H से डिवाइड कर देंगे तो यहाँ पे आपके पास susceptibility की वैल्यू आ जाएगी. So therefore susceptibility, diamagnetic susceptibility is equal to H से डिवाइड किया तो ऊपर वाला H आपका कैंसिल आउट हो जाएगा. So this will become minus mu naught N Z square E square R square upon 6m. Okay, so this is the diamagnetic susceptibility of the diamagnetic material. Okay, so from this article it may be concluded that number one, diamagnetic susceptibility is directly proportional to the atomic number. Z, so higher the atomic number, higher will be the diamagnetic susceptibility. Then we also conclude from this article that diamagnetic susceptibility is independent of temperature. You can see over here there is no temperature involved in this equation. So diamagnetic susceptibility is independent of temperature. This is independent of temperature. Then, since the induced field opposes the applied magnetic field, diamagnetic susceptibility is negative. ठीक है, क्योंकि M नेगेटिव है तो डायमैग्नेटिक ससेप्टिबिलिटी भी नेगेटिव ही होगी. ओके, कई बार पूछा जाता है छोटे छोटे क्वेश्चंस में, मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चन में पूछा जाता है डायमैग्नेटिक मटेरियल्स की ससेप्टिबिलिटी क्या है, नेगेटिव है, स्मॉल है, लार्ज है, ग्रेटर देन 1 है, सो दैट यू हैव टू सी. देन this diamagnetic susceptibility for most of the diamagnetic materials is small, and this is of the order of 10 raised to power minus 6. So r square को कभी कभी हम मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम हम r square को बोहर रेडियस लेके चलते हैं. So this is the conclusion from the article, the Langevin theory of paramagnetism. Sorry, Langevin theory of diamagnetism. Okay. So you can see over here, susceptibility is directly linked to atomic number. जितना ज़्यादा atomic number होगा उतनी ज़्यादा diamagnetic susceptibility होगी. This is independent of temperature. This is negative, and this is having a very small value. Any doubt, please ask me. Yes, students, is there any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's all for today. Tomorrow we will start with the paramagnetism, and then we will see the theories which explains the paramagnetic properties of the materials. Okay, now let me take your attendance. Just wait for a moment.